Hi, everybody. It's Will here from Rekall Consulting, and I am joined by one of our long-standing customers and a very successful entrepreneur. That is Yevgeny Pats from Cloud Query. Yev, it's good to see you, brother.
Hey, Will. Good to see you as well.
No, I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we just wanted to have a very brief chat because I've obviously been part of your journey now as Recall Consulting since stealth mode. It's quite a story. You've come a long way in a relatively short space of time and have built a great company and a great product and have grown quite organically. Didn't fall foul to a lot of startups who mass scaled or blitz scaled, as the saying goes, and now are in a very stable and good position to further grow. So, if you don't mind, dude, talk us through Cloud Query, your baby from stealth to where it is today.
Yeah, sure. So, Cloud is an open source project, open source high performance CLT framework. We released it about 2.5 years ago. Raised our seed funding 2 years ago, our Series A 1 year ago. And actually, I met you, I think, just when we raised our seed round about 2 years ago.
That's right.
Um, and it was like very tough time in the hiring space. I went like through multiple hiring shops, different leads. Then you reached out. We started working, and basically it's stopped there since then. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm working solely with you and your folks, and we've been like super happy, and I can expand on that.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, dude. I remember kind of when we first started talking, you were finalizing the product, the ideas, the kind of the big vision, um, and working together with you. You are a very good recruiter yourself. So it's been an interesting journey. And what's the plan now going forward? What's next for Cloud Query? You've built a great product, like you say, gone through funding rounds and are open source. What's next?
Yeah, so I think like in terms of hiring, we always like focused on staying small and lean, but also we've been focused on like the top talent, because that's like what we believe will be key to Cloud Query success and scale. So we're like keeping it lean, but really trying to hire like best folks for the job. And going forward, I think like our open source project really grew quite a bit, and then we'll try and see how to make a great business out of it now that we have quite a big community, and yeah, provide like start building a bigger business, and yeah, I can expand on that as well.
Yeah, so it's all about growth. You're trying to kind of create new facets of the business in new areas and new domains.
Yeah, exactly. Like open source project, like have various monetization plans, like whether it's a cloud business or like open core model, and like we'll be experimenting with some of those areas now that we
Yeah,
have quite a big community. Like the first challenge, like in a lot of startups, but also in an open source, is like, one, do you have users at all, right? Because if not, and you don't have a product market fit, like there is no reason to think like how much users, like how much to charge users, because there are none,
yeah,
right?
couldn't charge
So
nobody. Yeah,
yeah, so it takes like really long time. It took us like 1-2 years to grow and work on the open source project and build something people want and use.
yeah.
And now we can see, okay, like what added value we can add on top,
Mm,
that people also like can buy and want to buy or want to move to a like paid or premium version.
yeah. And who's your ideal user now then? Who's the person that uses your product?
So right now, like we have a lot of users from like different factors, but I would say the most popular one are like around SREs or DevOps,
Mm,
or like security engineer building kind of cloud asset inventories,
yeah,
compliance report on top of like Cloud Query data, on top like utilizing the modern data stack and moving away from like vendor lock-in kind of solutions. So like using more like open source stack and having direct access to the data.
yeah. So I guess it was really important then, with those being the users of your product, that the product worked very well, that it was legit. And obviously that comes from having the right people around you, like you say.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
you must have the right people, and also also you must have patience because it takes time. Like it just takes
Yeah,
time to mature, for users to bring the feedback to improve,
yeah.
and runway, patience and runway.
It's all about runway, brother. I hear you. And what was one of the reasons, if you remember back, that you use Recall Consulting? Because in stealth mode, you and I started talking to one another. But what was the driving factor behind saying yes to us in Recall Consulting to help you grow this company?
Yeah, so first, I guess the first one was like we were like you reached out, we tried different things, tried different like consulting shops. It was like really, I think you literally reached out like in our like first quarter after we raised the seed round. So those 3 months we tried different things. It wasn't really working. I was like swamped in interviews.
Mm,
So I thought, okay, like let's give it a try. And you kind of like just changed it completely from like I wasn't swamped in interviews anymore. So you did like much better job like off like pre-filtering, right? Talking to the candidates so I can focus on focus my time on talking to
yeah,
the right candidates. And yeah, and also like not wasting their time. So since then it's kind of worked. So we just continued working like
yeah.
whatever works, don't touch it.
Yeah, it's worked well. It has worked well. But I say, I think out of all of the customers that I've worked with, you're a very skilled recruiter yourself, and it's made our process very smooth. So you think that one of the biggest things that we've given you back as a founder of a startup has been your time?
Yeah, definitely time. And also I would say also probably help me some of the candidates that we wanted like to recruit. You also help, bring them on board, and make them happy with the process, right?
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
first one is time, and at the end is also like closing the right candidates,
yeah.
which was successful.
Good. Okay. Well, it's good. It's good to hear. And how do you think that the people that we have that Recall Consulting has put into your business have contributed to the growth of Cloud Query and to the product, or where have they added the most value in your opinion?
Yeah, so yeah, we're a real small team, right? We are right now 7 people, and like we're doubling the team now, but we've been pretty lean. So, any person out of the 7 people, 7 engineers that we had is key, right? So,
Yeah.
it would be very different without them, right? Or with the wrong people
Yeah.
in place.
So I guess then the important thing has been that they fit in culturally, that they've been able to adopt your lean approach to how you're scaling Cloud Query, and that they're effective.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what would you say then? Because obviously it's a small community where a lot of people know each other in the Israeli startup community. I know you and I share a lot of connections out there. What would you say to anybody that's at part of the journey where you've been? They might be in stealth mode, they might be post stealth, they might be just approaching round A, they might have had round A, but they're having issues or finding it challenging to bring the right people on board. What would you say to them about Recall services? Would you recommend our services to them? More importantly.
Yeah, so one, yeah, for sure, I'll recommend, and I think it's worth any penny, for a startup founder, early on or in growth mode. So for us, it worked. And the second thing, of course, like it's also at the end of the day also up to like the founder or the like engineering manager, recruiter, like whoever it is in the company, right? Like to then interview and bring the right, like
Yeah.
you can't solve everything for the company, but you can bring the right people given like
Mm,
the right direction,
yeah.
very effectively, and then it's up to like the the company to do the right validation and bring the right
Yeah.
people on board, like the right people for them. So yeah, definitely I recommend. And yeah, feel free to also reach out to me if you have any questions. Feel free to like send any other entrepreneurs or founders
Yeah.
my way for recommendations.
Yeah. No, we appreciate that. We appreciate anybody that has used our service and values it highly enough to introduce a friend. Um, Well, look, it's just wanted to have a very brief conversation with you to introduce everybody to Cloud Query, the growing company that is. I'm really excited to kind of be part of your journey and to see where it ends up. My plan for Rekall Consulting is to grow it and sell it. And I would love to see that Cloud Query does something similar before I get to that point. So, we can celebrate together.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you, man.
I appreciate it. And anybody that's watching, if you're in the dev community, if you're SREs, platform engineering, if you're having specific challenges that Cloud Query can solve, the link to Yevgeny's product will be in the comments below. So feel free to hit Yevgeny up on LinkedIn, connect with him, or you can go onto the website and you can get involved and start to play with the product live. So thanks everybody for listening, Yevgeny brother. It's great to see you, and I'm really pleased to see that you're doing well, and it's looking like it's going to go only up.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Uh,
We'll
thanks very much,
go.
man. I'll see you soon.
See you.